Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Hello. Sorry, I was checking stuff out. It shut my stream off abruptly, and then it was not sending it to Facebook. I think Restream is having more problems than they are willing to admit. Oh, well, we'll get through it. We always do. That's why I pay for the cheap one. It's like, I think it's like $19 a month. I pay for the cheap one. And even then, they screw up so much, they're constantly giving me it. I'm going to send it again today. All the videos shut down yesterday in the middle. Yeah, it just wasn't working. Morning, Michelle. Good morning, Angel. It's good to see you both. Oh, well. I do. Honestly, today, I don't care. So, it isn't that I don't care. I'm in a bad mood. I don't care. I'm in a good mood. I just don't care. That's probably why I'm in a good mood. All right. Morning, Heather. Good to see you. Jazz, good to see you. Nice alien face. You have the coolest backgrounds. You have all these weird backgrounds. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yes, I can do gay voices. That's probably why I called gay a lot growing up. I was just always a sensitive guy. I don't know what that had to do with gay, but I'm not. Not that I care. Told you, I don't care. Yeah. Yeah. There's one guy. We're in I told this story. I think I told this story recently. I was taking care of a friend. It was his birthday. New Year's was his birthday. Right. And I was taking care of, like, he was falling down. I mean, it looked like we almost looked like we were together. And there was this one guy who was way too drunk. He'd already pushed his girlfriend around a little bit, and he got in my face, called me gay, so I knocked him out. How's that for gay, motherfucker? Woo! How is it down there? Feel good on the cement? All right. And quit hitting your girlfriend, or I'll be back. You think I advocate now? All right. But thankfully back then we didn't really have phones and stuff, so it wasn't recorded. That's what's great about being Gen Xer. There's no proof I did anything. Heather said, I just finished up inventory gig at a Halloween store in Toledo. You know, if it's going to be somewhere, why not Toledo? All right. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. All right. Drew Carey show. Hey, buddy. Drew Carey show. Great show. Fantastic show. All right. If you can tell me who did the Cleveland Rocks song for the Drew Carey show, I will give you this pen that says Recover Colorado on it. I'll give you a hint. She's lump. All right. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It is time for Dion's Daily Funnies. I've gone back to dad jokes because the recovery jokes make no sense. It sounds like they were written by drunk people. Right? They don't make any sense. They're not funny. We could do better. We really could. So, all right, here we go. It's not easy being a mom. Otherwise, dads would do it. My dog just ate a $100 bill. Man, I guess he's got expensive taste. Getting better at the soundtrack, aren't I? Yeah. Key is you only let half of it play. I'm having more fun with the soundtrack than I am the jokes. The guy who stole my diary went missing. My thoughts are with his family. Yeah. Not not good enough for a laugh track. What did the cow say to the leather chair? Hi, Mom. I'd love to have kids one day, but that's as long as I can handle them. Not too hard to laugh. I only got a little laugh out of that one, right? All right. You can only handle them one day, right? Yeah, I went and downloaded my own laugh track. Here's the thing. When you're doing this stuff, your brain needs indicators. It's what I do that in the podcast. You ever see me in a meeting? I overdo things. But I've always been that way. I've always been more, right? People tell me you're too much. Right. Then eventually I figured it out and I told people, then go find less. Because I don't care. That's today's theme. I don't care. Came up with some cool ideas last night. The Community Recovery Association. I think it's a great idea. It's another idea. We'll see if we actually do anything with it. I gotta tell you, I wanted one of these days, one of my ideas is gonna fucking stick. I'm just gonna keep trying till I find the right. There's a sweet spot in there. I can't seem to find it. And I bet if I keep saying that to myself, that's what I'll get. So, gotta be careful what we say to ourselves, correct? All right, today we are talking about change behavior, the only true amend. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. If you would like to be on the show, please let me know. If you have a topic that you would like me to talk about on the show, please let me know. What I'm working on is getting this to where I am a day ahead on topics, and because I'm going to need time to set it up a little bit more. So, but if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm going to give a heads up to my Podbean people. My numbers are very low. I pay $14 a month for that. If I can't get more people listening to it, I may have to shut it down. So I need more support on my Podbean. If you can listen to this on Podbean, unless you're live here, I'm not going to ask you to go repeat it. Don't give me fake numbers. Like if you already listened to it here, please don't go listen to it over there and give me a fake number and build up numbers. Don't do that. That will not help me. Okay. I'll like it because sometimes I'll go to my, I'll go to Facebook and notifications, and somebody will like. They just, and it's all the same time, which means they just went through and liked all my videos. That doesn't help me. It actually hurts me. So if you didn't watch the video, don't say anything. Right? I know I'm weird because oh well, those will help me with. No, it's fake. I can't do fake. I'm an attraction, not promotion. Right? Do I love the support? Absolutely. Jazz says, "What is Podbean?" That's a great question. That's where my podcasts end up. Here, I'm going to show you folks a little something here. First of all, let's go here. We're going to go to YouTube. I have over 3,000 videos. If you are bored, just go to the Daily Trudge on here. Scroll to your heart's content. There's 3,000 to scroll through. Go to the search right here. Put something in. Look for something in particular, right? All right, now I'm going to show you, right? Instagram, free text, dashboard. There it is. All right. This is my dashboard for Podbean. Now, this is my Podbean. I had 9 yesterday, but this is the podcast. That's it. You can just go to trudgingtogether.podbean and right there. All right. I have a bunch. All right, let's get started on the topic. That is Podbean. It's just where my podcasts end up. So now, with that being said, one thing I did decide last night was that I need to get back to my podcasting. I do not consider this a podcast. This is me going live. When I have another person here and I am interviewing somebody here telling their story, that is podcasting. Otherwise, I'm just kind of a talk show. All right, let's get started. So if you know somebody that wants to tell their story, maybe they're a little bit more shy, this is a great place to do it. But I want to start doing one a week again. I need to get more out there. But see, the way that it works for me is what happens is I have a speaker and then they share it with their friends and those people become listeners. I do not promote. I can't promote. I do way too much AA stuff in this area. I can't promote it. So what does that mean? I need my allies to promote. If you like my stuff, please share it. Okay? There. That's as far as I can go as far as promoting. All right. So living amends is what we're talking about today. And it's a beautiful thing for everybody. This is what I was taught when I first came into the program. Okay? I'm going to say it like my sponsor said it. He said, Dion, I know you want to go back in that house because you feel guilty and you feel shame. You feel a lot of blame. You are overwhelmed with feelings right now. Right now, you're feeling better and you want to go back into that house and you want to tell your wife all the great work that you've done today and you want to go run your mouth. But what you're going to do is you're going to shut your fucking mouth, dude. You're going to shut it. Instead, you're going to do the dishes. And by dishes, I mean clean the dishes, dry them off, and put them away. Do the counters, clean the floors, sweep and mop if the walls need to be done. If the trash needs to be taken out, you are to take out the trash. And when you are done taking out the trash, you are to put another bag in the trash can. If you run out of things to do in the house, you are to go to your wife and say, honey, what needs to be done around here? Okay. Now, I have my wife and 4 kids and a grandchild in the house at the time. There was plenty to be done. Plenty. Dion, what you're going to do next is you are going to refrain from bragging. You silly, silly alcoholic. Look how great I did. See, taking out the trash, doing the dishes, sweeping the floors, picking up the dog poop, mowing the lawn, getting the leaves out of the gutters. Okay, these are what we call reasonable expectations. Did you know normal people tell people where they are going and when they will be back and what they are doing? Did you know that normal people do that when they leave the house? Huh? But then when we're told to do it, we get all offended. Well, if we want to be like our fellows, then we're going to need to make some changes. This is about justice, not forgiveness. Forgiveness is between you and God. The only reason I forgive somebody is for my own peace of mind. That is as far as it goes. It isn't that my forgiveness is some big, overwhelming thing that's going to change your entire life. Nope. You want to know why? Because I ain't God. I know that for sure. I'm not God. We have got to get into action because sorry from an alcoholic means one thing. I plan on doing that again. I plan on doing that again, but maybe not today because I'm feeling a little too guilty about it. Right? It's like this, and you might get a little upset with me saying this. People say, "Oh, I came a pro. I've never relapsed." Okay, that's not true. How come we think that we only relapse when we have gotten into the program? If you ever told somebody, hey, I promise I'm going to quit drinking and you didn't follow through, you relapsed. I also have not relapsed since the last time I drank. Neither of you. Great job, everybody. It's not part of it. That's why we say that relapse is often a part of recovery. You had to relapse 15 million times. You made all these promises before you even got to step one. It was very much a part of you getting to recovery. Absolutely, it was. Right? I was working with a new guy yesterday. Right? They didn't have their big book yet. They didn't have their 12 by 12 yet, stuff like that. So we couldn't do too much reading. Right? Does that mean we can't do the first step? Guy's been sober 3 weeks. He needed something. He needed some kind of hope. He needed some kind of movement. So we went ahead and did the first step. I'm like, you're done with the first step. Good job. And he's like, wow, that was quick. No, he didn't say that, but I could hear it in his voice. And no, that was pretty simple. But he was probably even thinking, oh, kind of easy. Nope. All right, all right, I need to explain something to you. How long did you drink? He said, about 15 years. I said, it took you 15 years to do that step. It was not easy. Nothing easy about it. Look at all the shit that you had to go through. Look at everything you had to go through just to hit step one. And even then, we made it hit you. So you can avoid those yets. All right. So we got to get into action. We've got to be in action, right? So I used to hand out, I'm sorry, like candy, but nothing changed. Nothing ever changed. It might give them a little bit of hope for a little bit, but what happened is I gave them a hope for a little bit and then I crash it. Hope a little bit, crash. Then after a while, you know what I became? The little boy that cried wolf, and they didn't believe me anymore. Sound familiar? Then they didn't believe me anymore. And why should they? Because words without actions are manipulation, not amends. Words without action. So we're going to do this differently this time. Okay. Now Google has since changed it. They finally got it right. But if you go look up, okay, we're going to go to step 9 here. The only thing dropped, though, in my opinion, this is the only thing that's good. Is this book is good for it. It actually has the right principles in it. Other than that, this is about step 6, and I'll give you a quick review of this book. Drop the rock. There you go. It's really all it says. You don't need more than that. We got to keep things simple, right? And they said they weren't gonna. They're like, we're not trying to make money off this, so we won't put out another book. And then they put out another book. So yeah, I don't really believe them, and it's not AA approved literature, by the way. Just so you know. All right. It wasn't. I didn't get anything out of it, and it didn't really talk about step 6 the way that I was taught step 6. But if you read this and it helps you, good job. I don't want to put anybody else down. I apologize for kind of being a dick there. All right. So step 8 is brotherly love. Step 9 is justice. Nowhere in here are any of the principles forgiveness. I'll read them off real quick. Honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, brotherly love, justice, perseverance, spiritual awareness, and service. Okay? Why is it justice? You ever had somebody approach you and say, hey, that thing that happened to you and you didn't know who it was? Well, it was me, and I apologize. You ever had that happen to you? Or maybe you didn't even know that somebody had done something, but still they came to you and said, hey, you know what? I saw this, and I'm going to make an amends. I want you to know that I recognize it. I see it, and I am doing something about it because it was uncool. You ever had that happen to you? That's justice. No sorries. We don't get to do sorries. We used our sorries up. There's got to be action. All right. So when we go to do our 8th and 9th step and we approach people, what have we done? We've changed. And if you didn't do your 4th and 5th step right, if you didn't go through, if you go making amends before you change, It's not an amends. It is self-pity. It is using other people to make you feel better about yourself. Well, I need your forgiveness or I can't move on. Bullshit. That is a lie we alcoholics tell ourselves. I need this and I need that or I can't get sober. Bullshit. That is the cart before the horse. And you don't get forgiveness without action. All right. Now, we're going to go to some Hazelden literature, which I do like. Drop the Rock, by the way, is Hazelden literature. All right. So, November 11th. This was not what I read. This is not what I read. That's all right. We'll keep on. So, the big book doesn't just say sorry. It says make amends wherever possible. That means we need to repair what we broke, not just apologize for it. And that's the action. And what's broke? Me. I was broke. My attitude, my shit attitude. No. When I drink, I have a very bad attitude. And even then, not to brag, but I don't need alcohol in me to have that attitude either. Nope, it'll come out just fine. All alcohol did was lower my inhibition so that it came out easier and quicker. So that I could allow myself to be brutally honest. No. And I still have to watch that. So a living amends, we show up differently every day. It means you're going to become a better person every day. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a little small. It's going to be small. So small that you're not even going to recognize it. You are not going to recognize the change in you before other people because you live with yourself. Okay. So when we do our 10th step at night, this is where we can cover what it is that we did. Okay. And I've been trying to share a little bit more of some of the successes that we've been having. Yesterday was awesome. Right. Not only did I talk to a new person that I'm helping with, but 2 more people showed up to Grassroots looking for, and they were like, I need a sponsor. And I was able to match them up with my sponsees who have been looking for, and then they're going to have some success with these ones because these people actually want to change. I can see it. All right. I put it in the group. People started showing up. Oh, we're going to sponsor. All because I made a decision a year ago to start a meeting. We helped 3 more people yesterday. Okay. So, but we didn't just help 3 people. It was more like 90. Because those 3 people affect other people, who affect other people, who affect other people. All right. That's why when you drop the rock, you get a ripple effect. That's the second book, The Ripple Effect. Man, I'm giving them a big plug today, aren't I? You're like, I'm going to go check it out. If you want to check it out, go for it, man. I'll even give you my copy. It's fine. I'll give you my copy. I don't mind. I already read it. So if you want mine, that's great. But I'm not paying for shipping. So sometimes the hardest amends are to the people who've already forgiven us or the ones who never will. Do you have people in your life that are not willing to forgive you? I do. I do. Yeah. It used to be a lot more. It used to be a lot more. Most of it was my family. Now a lot of my family has come back. My kids are in my life. My mom is, you know, a lot of the brothers and sisters that I enjoy being around are coming back into my life. It's starting to work. There are some people that honestly will not forgive me, and I don't care. I actually don't want forgiveness from them. What I want is the truth. I want them to admit what they did to me. See, I've already forgiven them for that. Okay. What I'm not going to do is run around and beg for forgiveness. I will not do that. I'm not going to beg for your forgiveness. I will say, is there anything else I can do to earn your trust, to get your forgiveness? I will say that. I'm willing to do that. But if you think I'm going to grovel or beg, no, as God's children, we stand on our own 2 feet. We don't crawl before anyone. I bow to no man, and no man should ever bow to me. Okay. Unless I'm in Japan and that's what we're doing. Okay. Then I'm going to follow culture. That's their culture. It's out of respect. Why can't we go out of our way a little bit, even if it's something we don't really appreciate, and show a little bit of respect? How about this? Why don't you open the door for somebody and not expect a thank you? How about that? Do that. It will apply towards your amends. That is a living amends, helping other people out. Okay? The other day I was at Kaiser picking up a med, and there was a gentleman out there. He was getting out of a car, very, very slow, and the driver was not able to help him. And he was gonna bite it. He was going to bite it. Okay. I'm like, wait, let me go get a wheelchair. Let me go get a wheelchair. And he had I don't know if it was Marine or Navy, but he had, I'm like, that's a vet, man. I'm going out of my way. All right. And I help him. I help him get into the wheelchair. I tell him, okay, I'm gonna bring him. His brother's like, thank you so much. They're both saying the other guy getting in the wheelchair could barely talk. So I roll him in because it's all windy outside. And he's like, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm like, thank you for everything that you've done for us. I enjoy my freedom. We got to take care of each other, right? If you see if you're in Walmart and you see a little old lady and she's coming at you, but she's on the left side, or maybe she's taking up the whole lane, then maybe move to the side so she can get by. Why are we in such a hurry? Hold space for people. You going up to get your coffee, and I don't know about you, but I like 2 sugars and a little bit of milk in my coffee. Okay, when I go out, when I'm at home, I don't put milk in it at all. I don't know why. My brain is all right. And so I'm at Starbucks and I go, but somebody's in front. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, take your time. They were there first. They were there first. When you're driving around, why don't you give a little leeway to other people and maybe what's going on in their lives? Because then your life will be a little bit better. But Dion, these aren't amends. Well, they might be amends if you decide that you're going to be a dick about something. Well, I'm going to teach that person a lesson. What happens if they end up in the hospital because you're driving around in a 5,000-pound car and using it as a fucking weapon? That's dangerous shit, and we are still capable of it. All right, Angel says, there are times where maybe you didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I would agree. But you got sick and disappeared, and when you offered an explanation, you got slapped in the face. I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah. What does that tell you? It tells you that those people weren't your friends in the first place, and thank God they're not in your life anymore. But it takes a while. It took me a while to get to a point to do that. So what do we go for? Little bits every day, right? Now we're back to the living amends. Okay. So now I'm going to let you in on a little secret, because a lot of people never realize this. You think you're doing your living amends for other people? Do you? Okay. Did you consider yourself at all? See, we alcoholics go to the extreme. We either totally include ourselves or not include ourselves. It says, except when to do so would injure them or others. You're another. I do all this for me, for peace of mind, so that I don't abuse God's children, because all I did was abuse God's children day after day after day. I use them, I abuse them, I caused trauma, I caused trouble. I ate up the court's time with my chicanery. The state had to spend money on me and put me in fucking jail for 6 months because I couldn't follow through on what Dion was supposed to follow through on. Yeah, I did a lot of things. Didn't file taxes for what, 17 years. Of course, I never made enough money to have to file either. That's the only reason I got away with it. The only reason. So these all apply to the living amends. Okay? Because we need peace of mind. You deserve to be happy. You deserve peace of mind. And these are the actions that we take to ensure that we can have at least a decent day. It's a pretty bad day indeed when nothing went right. When nothing went right. Sometimes the hardest amends are the people who've already forgiven us. We kind of covered that. And sometimes, but I'm repeating it. I'm going to repeat the whole thing because there's more. Sometimes the hardest amends are to the people who've already forgiven us or the ones who never will. And sometimes the hardest one is to ourselves. Did you forgive you? Did you make an amends to yourself? In fact, if there's one person in this world that you should be making amends to, it's you. And you should probably do it on a daily basis. You ever call yourself a name? You ever do something you're like, oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. Yeah, that calls for an amends. Well, if you called somebody else stupid, what would you do? You'd have to make an amends, right? Well, you're an other. So why are you not making amends to yourself? Dion, I'm sorry. I don't really do think that you're stupid. This has to do with self-worth. And we need some self-worth because all we did all of our lives was pull emotions out of other people to make us feel better. Oh, what I was going to say earlier about when you're the last person to see anything going on with you, when you see other people changing, tell them, say something. Hey, I've noticed like the last week, you've just been a lot happier, man. Doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to be huge. Just, I've noticed a difference in you. I noticed a difference. Michelle says, yes, I did make amends to myself. Awesome. Good job. Awesome. Okay. Now, if you haven't and it wasn't a part of it and you did that part, it's okay. You don't need to beat up on yourself. Just go back and do it. Take 5 minutes, 5 minutes to tell yourself that you're sorry for what you did, for all the dangerous places that you put yourself in, for putting alcohol in your body day after day after day, knowing it was killing you. We called this suicide on the installment plan. And it is the one thing with our disease that goes against everything that nature and spirituality loves, the killing of the self. And in a way, you did. Why do I have to kill our old selves to find the new self? See? Yeah. You did a lot of things to you. In fact, I would have to say, I did more stuff to me than anybody else ever did. And if anybody ever talked to me the way that I used to talk to me, I would knock you out. One way or another, I would find a way to fuck your life. So when I did it to me, what did I do? Well, I doubled down on me, and what did they become? Excuses to drink, right? So people don't trust words anymore. They trust time. And change behavior is proof of grace, of that grace at work, God's grace at work. Now you become this example. An example where people will approach you and say, what are you doing with your life? Because you become a different person. And I like what I see. What are you doing? And not all of them are going to be alcoholic. Some of them will be non-alcoholic. There was somebody that needed help yesterday, non-alcoholic, but they've been utilizing alcohol to solve their problems. They might have a drinking problem. So what do? Well, we discussed about different goals, setting our time differently, not much different than what we do. I'm like, you're really good at this. Get back to it, dude. You know, I told him, when was the last time you went to church? Because they were a big church person, played drums for the church and stuff. He's like, it's been a while. I'm like, you need to go back. You need to get back to your service work. That's what's missing here. Service work. Got a little excited and sent me a message a little bit later. Thank you. I feel much better about this. See, we get to help. When anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there. For that, I am responsible. Right? So the best apology you can ever give is not repeating the same mistake. Let your actions speak your amends. Let your actions do it. It's the one and only way. Okay? I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint here. Time. It takes time to win back your love again. Those scorpions there. I just listened to it earlier, so it's kind of in my head. Now the song's going through my head. Give me a second. Okay, so it's going to take time. Right? Took me a very, very long time. Long time. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do today's daily reflection anyway. This is out of A Day at a Time. It's Hazelden Literature, November 11th. I have no idea what it says, but fuck it. Let's read it. I planned on reading it. I said I was going to read it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why it happened that way. And now we're about to find out together. All right. But I bet there's something in there. All right. But I got this idea from somewhere. So maybe I read this earlier and my brain just kind of blanked it out. I don't know. All right. What exactly is humility? Does it mean that we are to be submissive, accepting everything that comes our way, no matter humiliating? This goes with the topic in the sense of we stand on our own 2 feet. We do not crawl before anyone. Yeah, it goes with that part. So it was a little bit of a fit. Not as much as I thought there was going to be, but there's a reason. The reason maybe somebody needs to hear about humility right now. Right? Okay. Does it mean surrender to ugliness in a destructive way of life? No. On the contrary, the basic ingredient of all humility is simply a desire to seek and do God's will. That's it. It's an earnest desire to seek and do God's will. You hear me talk a lot about how I often get what it is that I want. That is because my will is in line with God's. It's what I want. That I'm selfish. I am still selfish. But now I am a good selfish, not an abusive one. Now I use my selfishness to help other people. I'm selfish about helping other people. I'm selfish about having a better life and doing everything that I can to make sure that those people around me have a better life also. Okay? Humility is asking for help. All right? We got to keep this stuff simple. All right. Am I coming to understand that an attitude of true humility confers dignity? Oh, yay, I have dignity. Shit, when was the last time I ever thought that I had any dignity? Wow. Wow, cool, right? And grace on me, right? You can give grace to people. It's called unconditional love. Strengthening me to take intelligent spiritual actions in solving my problems. Oh, man. Kind of cool. All right. Today I pray. May I discover that humility is not bowing and scraping. No. You don't even have to do that with God. Well, I shouldn't tell you what to do. I should stick to mine on that. I don't. I don't get on my knees. I bow my head. I close my eyes. I think of God when I pray. Absolutely. I give all respect. You bet I do. But God doesn't require me to. If that works for you, then I'm gonna have to say, I think you might be a step ahead of me. And that's okay. I'd actually be very proud of you. All right. Scraping, kowtowing, or letting people walk all over me, okay? All of which have built in expectations of some sort of personal reward, like approval or sympathy. Real humility is awareness of the vast love and unending might of God. It is a perspective that tells me how I, as a human being, relate to that divine power. Today, I'll remember humility is awareness of God. Doesn't have to be huge, although sometimes it kind of nice is that, you know, but it's not a huge, like an overwhelming, as much as it is a comfort of feeling safe and secure. We spend a good chunk of our lives not feeling safe and secure. You deserve it. You do. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and keep on trudging.